Well, hello, hello. It's our 100th episode. Woo!
That's awesome, Beth. Super excited to be here with you and with our friends watching here. 100. Who would have believed it? 100 episodes later, here we are. 100 Wednesdays later, here we are. Such an amazing opportunity to have this celebration with you, Beth, and with everyone here watching.
Wow, I can't believe it. I didn't think that, well, when we started this, I wasn't thinking, well, what would it be like to get to our 100th episode? It just sort of showed up on our doorstep, I feel like.
Yes, it was. It was. I mean, we have known each other for a while, and we have done things together collaboratively, and we started talking about why did we do this kind of chat conversation once a week, and that's kind of how it all started. I never thought it was going to last 100 episodes either.
I know, but I'm so glad it did because we've learned a lot
hmm
along the way. And today, that's what we're going to share with you guys. We're going to share with you some of our top takeaways from what we've learned from 100 episodes. Beth English and Sergio Gomez going
Yes.
to share that wisdom.
hmm Super excited because a lot of times we present ideas, kind of like ways of thinking or framing different situations and different things. But today we want to kind of open up our hearts, kind of be on the other side, say what we have learned, right? As when we show up to give what we have learned ourselves in the process. And I can't wait to share with you kind of my top takeaways. And by the way, we didn't like say, okay, you're gonna do this and I'm gonna do those, right? Like you came up with yours, I came up with mine, and that's kind of what's gonna be awesome.
That's right. Well, I would like to share that, when we first started this, it was in March 2020, and I have changed a lot since then.
hmm
And so as I look back over the last 2 years, I think to myself, something that would be helpful for the audience to learn is that anytime you do something for an extended period of time, you're going to learn a lot. And you also can give yourself permission to change. I think sometimes we think when we set a goal or we point ourselves in a certain direction that it's important to stay that path, but it is. But over time, it's important to also let yourself be able to change and evolve into your next level self. And I know that's something that I have done personally, is definitely given myself room to evolve and change, even if that means changing the work that I do, the offers that I share with my clients, or even the audience that I want to serve in the first place. So many of you are artists watching, and I started an artist community, and that's why Sergio and I met in the first place. But I primarily serve leadership teams. And because I want to bring creativity to the leadership level so that we can all learn how to lead better by using the gifts of creativity that we know and hold dear to ourselves as artists. But like, what if we were able to elevate that into all sorts of different rooms where maybe creativity isn't necessarily the first thing that we think of to help us
hmm
problem solve. And so that's something that I have definitely leaned into, is learning to allow myself to change and serve the people that I feel led to serve.
I love that. And even us, us doing this, we have changed along the way, trying to hear also kind of what our friends are saying and trying to come up with new ways or better ways to bring this information to all our friends. So I love that. Yeah, I think change, we all have changed, right, within the last couple of years. That's 100% sure. Well, one of my top takeaways for me was, again, the value of persistence, the value
Mhm.
of persistence. So saying, okay, we're gonna do this. And sometimes, you and I, we had this chat that sometimes wasn't easy. Sometimes I wasn't feeling good, or you were not feeling good, or I had just come from a trip, or you also, we had, or sometimes family situations and things, but we found a way to adapt, found a way to make it work, even if sometimes we're like, you know what, this week maybe we just had to skip it because something big has happened. And it was okay. We gave ourselves permission to do that, to say it's okay not to do it this week, but we're gonna
Mhm.
get back to it, not say, okay,
Mhm.
well, next week, but rather continue that commitment even when we got sidetracked because of life and situations that come along the way. A pandemic, for example, we kind of managed to stay at it. And looking back 100 episodes, it felt to me like it was only 20. because that's how much I enjoyed it. And
Mhm.
I see the value of being persistent to it. So for our friends, watching right now, what are you starting, or what have you started recently that you need to, recognize that persistence is something that it has a payoff on the other end. So kind of continue working at it, and don't lose courage. Yeah, sometimes you'll feel like it sucks. Sometimes you feel like it's not the best, not your best day, but you keep at it, because the reward is on the other side.
And there's a quote that I always live by. It says, "Go as far as you can see, because when you get there, you'll be able to see further." So
Right.
it's easy to be persistent, even if you can't see the vision beyond
Yeah.
where you can currently see it. Because if you
Right.
just stay persistent, you're going to continue to evolve your vision over time as well, and that persistence is what's going to get you there. So I love
Absolutely.
that takeaway.
hmm what's your next takeaway, Beth?
Well, even though we've been doing all the talking, it's important to learn to be a listener. I know that as we've gone through these videos and shared them with our audience, you start to learn what it is that people like to hear about the most and the questions that they have about the episodes that we do deliver. And so everything that I have brought to these videos is because I've listened to the audience and tried to touch on topics that I know that they're currently struggling with or they've reached out and asked me questions about. And so I found that really valuable to listen to the community and then to address all of those questions here in these videos. And so I love that because it's got me more connected to the audience, I feel, because every week I'm thinking about what sort of new information can I bring them that's going to be helpful and be of service.
Yeah, I love that one. And yeah, I think listening is so important, and we love it. When our friends here who watch, send us a DM, sends us a message, or shares it to their audience, or tags us on something, because that helps us know that how this information is being received, and more important, how it's being used, right? Because at the end of
Mhm.
the day, I think one thing that you and I we both really talk a lot about is action, taking action, right? How are you gonna
Mhm.
take what we just talk about and take action on that, and I think super important. So the another really big takeaway for me was that it really helped me broaden my perspective, or this Wednesday's conversation really broadened my perspective. We talk a lot about productivity, organization, creativity, mindset, and we take turns picking the topic. And when you take a topic that I love as well, and where the way you talk about it, and the way you unpack it, it always helps me too. So these Wednesdays, these 100 episodes, definitely have brought in my perspective in all aspects of my creative life, and I think that's a big value to that. I can go back and look at the previous episodes, which by the way you can do that too. If you miss it, doesn't mean like you have to wait another Wednesday. You always go back, and they're always on social media store there waiting for you. And yeah, these conversations, it's like we are having a chat over coffee, and um, you know trying to help each other out, and encourage each other out. So it has definitely made me a better artist because of that.
Oh, I love that. And I know I learned so much from you because um, I feel like there's things that you're doing that I'm not doing. And
That's it.
anything that you share along those lines, I always learn from you. And so I'm extremely grateful for that. And the fact that we can learn from each other and share with our audience things that we're learning. I mean, it just goes to show you that we have a heart to serve.
Right.
And no matter what, like that's always the intention.
hmm
And I know that showing up every week with you just keeps me thinking about how can I serve and how can I teach? And that just feels so good. So that's why having 100 episodes is kind of like, wow, how did we get here? Because we've just been having such a good time along the way. And I think that's also important thing to remember is if you're having a good time, like keep doing it. It's
right.
great. Like don't stop if you're enjoying the process. And that definitely is a testament to what we've created together.
hmm Yeah, I love that. Do you have one last one, and then let's share one last one, and then we'll wrap it up for today?
Well, on a personal level, I definitely have become a lot more comfortable in front of the camera and speaking from a natural place virtually. And so for that, I will never be the same. And I'm extremely grateful that I've had this experience with you because not only am I bringing, the video element to our social media,
Mhm.
here with you, but it pours out into all other things that I do, into my virtual keynotes, into any sort of other videos I create for online spaces. And so this experience with you has definitely helped me become better at the work that I do overall. And so I'm so thankful for that. And thank you for those who
Awesome.
have watched and have shared your love and encouragement along the way. It means the world to me. And so I read all of your comments and just truly appreciate the fact that we're here today. And I'm not the same as I was 2 years ago when it comes to showing up on video. So,
That's awesome.
what
Yeah,
about you?
somehow this 100 episode is better than the first one, right? And I think
Oh,
hopefully,
definitely.
hopefully you guys will judge on that, but we think it's better. Now, and for me, I think one last one that I wanted to share in this 100 episode is also the value of having a good company and who you enter into your inner circle and collaborate with. You and I, we have many other people who we could have done this, but we chose to work with each other on this particular project. And it has been very rewarding, on a personal level as well. As a friend, I feel like I have a companion that every week we chat. This is the episode that we record together that we do here, and then the pre-chat and the after-chat, where we talk about our families, our friends, and how we're doing, in a personal level. And I think that is very rewarding too. Helps me check in every time that we sit down and we do this, so that feel like even though we're miles away, I'm a better friend to you and vice versa, just because we're doing this. So, and that, also a way to encourage our friends to find your inner circle. Who's that person or two or three that you can connect on a regular? It doesn't have to be every week, on a regular basis, maybe once a month, that you go and you sit down for coffee, talk about your creative life and kind of what are the things that are happening, or on a virtual level as well. Both Beth and I, we run communities online, which work really well, as and they have a lot of value to that. So find your tribe, find those that you connect with, because it makes you feel that you're not alone. You're not alone in this journey, which sometimes could be, could feel like we are the only ones at it. So that's my last takeaway on that.
I love that. And I'm sure that a lot of people watching today can relate to these points that we made, because anytime we try something new and we stick with it for a while, we're going to learn something new. And I think it's great to look back and reflect on what you've learned, because that's going to only help inform all of your next decisions moving forward.
Absolutely. And well, Beth, congratulations on 100. Congratulations to us. Congratulations to everyone as well. Thank you for joining us in this journey. We would love to hear from you. Let us know what are your own takeaways. If there's one particular or two or three, what is your takeaway on an episode that you remember that helped you think, help you look at things different, help you to take action in some way or fashion. We would love to hear. We would love to hear from you. And so send us a comment or a DM. Could be a personal message if you want, through social media, or a comment here. We would love to hear. And where our friends can find you, Beth?
You guys can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Beth English. My website's bethenglish.com. What about you, Sergio?
Awesome. You can find me same everywhere at Sergio Gomez Art, and on my website, sergiogomezonline.com as well, and my program, theartistnextlevel.com. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. We'll be back with 101. So good to see you. Bye, Beth. Take care.